on digital radio, on the app, on your smart speaker, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.tv, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk presented by The Sportscast.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk with Victor Arocho and Byron Jones. And here's your host, Victor Arocho.
All righty. Let's get it on. Live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and the Poconos in Pennsylvania. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk, hosted by Byron Jones and Victor Arocho. Brought to you by the Sportscast. Today is June 19th, 2025. If you haven't yet, subscribe on all your channels to the Sportscast, YouTube, X, Spotify, iTunes, and we are streaming and on your favorite podcast channels. So please leave a rating and a review. It'll help us out tremendously. Don't forget to smash the like button if you like what you hear on YouTube so you can get some of our other shows. And we have an entire week of shows with the Sportscast. We are streaming live every Thursday at 8 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. Let's get ready to rumble Mr. Byron Jones out of the Poconos, where it's at least decently cool there, no?
It's still hot. It's about 90 degrees,
That's funny. I used to always go to Poconos when it was cold. I don't remember going to Poconos when it was hot. Mm-hmm. Now, so when you go there, you have the same same place you go to, like your same like department or the whatever it is.
Same place.
It's the same place. Okay, so you get used to it, right? You get
same cabin, same everything.
It's your comfort, right? All right, that's pretty cool. All righty, so let's get going. We're trying to get some stuff going on today. Yes, sir. All righty, let's go. Giants mini camp. So what we hear on the street, Giants mini camp note, Jaxson Dart proves that he belongs. They're talking some good stuff about him. What do you got over there, Superman? Is it just rhetoric or what's happening?
Pretty much the same thing, pretty much the same thing, that, he's had a, okay camp. He's fitting in with the guys. It seems that him and Tommy Cutlets are getting along. They ever talked about, doing that Love Island thing or whatever it was. It was something crazy. But, he seemed like he's fitting in with the Giants. So, we'll see how those, they broke for mini camp. They're done. Now everybody goes their separate ways, and hopefully nobody gets in trouble, while you're gone.
Well, no offense to Tommy Cutlets, but I don't think that's a guy he should be worried about being friends with. I mean, if anybody I want to learn from would be Russell Wilson. And what's going on with Winston? I don't hear any noise, anything at all about him.
Nah, he's being the typical, you want your backup quarterback, to be seen and not heard. That's a good thing when it comes to, with the games. He's leading by example, as far as being a good pro, being a good mentor for, Dart. So, it's a good thing.
Right. Okay. Oh, there it is. That's the one I wanted to see. That's a little bit better. All right. So you've been a good mentor to Dart. Okay. Well, let's see. They keep hearing stuff. We've heard some good stuff about Dart. Let's see what happens. But Russell Wilson's going to lead that team. We're going to go from there. What other breaking news is happening out there up in Jersey?
Well, they moved Evan Neal, doing pretty well, with his new position as guard, which, I said 2 or 3 years ago, they should have moved this guy. I want him to do well. He's a Alabama guy, our friend, Justin Riley, knows, this kid. And, he's a 5-star recruit, going into Alabama. And for some reason, it just didn't work out, with him playing right tackle. So hopefully, he'll resurrect his career and, get the starting job at guard.
Danny's probably listened to our show for you bashing him for the last 5 years.
No. I wasn't that bad. I was, I wanted him to do
bashed
well.
that guy.
I wanted this guy to do well.
I know you
Yeah,
wanted
I
him
know,
to do
man.
well, but there's a big difference between wanting him to do well and you've been bashing him since he came into the team. He's been a bust. They got him in the wrong position. He hasn't been. He's been awful. Here's your words: awful. Just awful.
Yeah, but he was awful. You could see,
See,
when he
there it is. Exactly.
the game. He's playing right tackle, and crazy again. Every edge rusher was running around him and through him. It was crazy. I couldn't take it. And yes, I'm now wishing for him to do well playing left tackle because he's a lot bigger than I am. And I really don't mess with this guy.
Exactly. And number one. And number two, look, we want every Giant to do well, right? It doesn't matter if we don't, but it is what it is. Either you're performing or you're not. It's not like you could hide, right? You're either you're going to be seen or you're not. All right. Well, let's see what's going.
He's 6'7", 340 pounds, man. You can't miss him. Can't miss him.
He's bigger than you. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's have maybe we get something coming out of there, right? And I understand how is Malik? Well, it's all over. Is Malik Neighbors at least they feel he's getting better, not at the position, but like health wise.
Nah, there's not still the same thing. I didn't know that he had the toe issue during the season. Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Yeah,
and for some reason, the toe issue
towards the end of the season last year,
from the season to now, and yeah. And then one of the doctors was sitting there saying that he thinks that just because you're going to be off for the next 2 months or whatever, is it going to fix it, or whatever's going on. So hopefully, it's not something that is going to be ongoing, because he does need that toe, being a receiver, as far as the cut and all the stuff that he does. But hopefully, they'll fix it, or he'll fix himself or whatever when training camp starts.
Okay. And then Santiago put some interesting stuff up here for you. So let's see what we got. He says Byron Jones is going to reveal his top 10 New York Giants of all time. Are you prepared for that?
Do you have the list? No, since I didn't bring it with me.
Oh, that's what happened.
All I know is number one is Lawrence Taylor.
There's no doubt. Did you email it to me? I can bring it up.
Let's see, number two off the top of my head.
Did you bring it to me? Did you email it or no?
Not yet. Yeah, I emailed it to you. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Emlyn Tunnell, the Gremlin.
I only have depth chart. I only have
African American.
I have a depth chart. I don't have your top 10. All right, go ahead. Sorry about that. No, I'm saying I don't have that email.
No, I sent that to you.
When? Okay. Recently? No, you sent it to Santiago, must have been. Because I don't have it. I have 2 emails for you. Not from your Gmail account. Let me check your AT&T.
Yeah, check that.
No.
Yes. Emlyn Tunnell is one of them.
Here it is. Okay, you got 2 emails. My top 10. Okay, Santiago forward. Oh, here it is. Yeah, you did. Okay. All right, we got it here. At number 10, we have Phil Simms.
He was a hero.
Number 10.
He was a Coast Guard guy.
Well, hold on. Can you hear me? I'm going to go over your top 10, and then you tell me why.
Yes, I can.
All right. Okay, so Phil Simms, you got number 10. All right. At least he's in the top 10. You got Sam Huff, linebacker,
right,
number 9. Mel Hine, cornerback, linebacker. I'm not familiar with him. Byron.
Well, center. He was way before our time. Both of them. He was way
center
before
and linebacker?
Oh, yeah. Hall of Famer.
Oh, really? Harry Carson. Yeah, I like Harry Carson. Yes. Michael Strahan. Wow, you have Strahan number 6. You got Gifford Frank Gifford? I thought Frank Gifford was a quarterback for some reason.
Yep, Frank Gifford.
But you have him as a running back, D-back? Is that what he played?
For what?
There seems to be a delay. You have him as a running back and cornerback. Why did I think he was a quarterback? Can you hear me? There's a delay. It's the Poconos don't like Wi-Fi. All right, I'm going to go over to top 10. Let me know when you jump in and you can hear me. All right. All right, we got Frank Gifford, running back, D-back, number 5. Eli Manning, quarterback. Roosevelt Brown, yes, offensive tackle. Elman Tunnell, defensive back, number 2, and LT as number 1. There you have it. You're missing some people, though, I think. I mean, it's hard. There's a lot of good giant players out there. Harry Carson, can you hear me?
Like who?
That whole linebacker crew that played with well, you got Harry Carson, but you don't have the other linebackers. Here.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I said Frank Gifford. I thought he was a quarterback, no? Brad Van Pelt.
No, he's a running back slash defensive back.
Really? Harry Carson. We're missing some guys. What lines play with him? Oh, Carl Banks. What about Carl Banks? You don't think Carl Banks?
You figure I don't have Tiki. I don't have Tiki.
You don't have Tiki Barber. You don't have John Paul Pierre.
Top 20.
Harry Carson. You got Carl Banks, Gary Reasons, Brad Van Pelt.
Amani Toon. I don't have.
How about Pepper Johnson?
But there, that's.
How about Pepper Johnson? 10. Pepper Johnson.
Yep.
What about you got Pepper Johnson? What else? Who else do we have there? Pepper Johnson. He was a linebacker. John Paul Pierre. How can you not have JP? He's got 2 Super Bowls.
Nah, he's not a top. No, he's not a top. No. Mm-mm.
You don't have Tiki Barber?
Banks, yeah.
Carl Banks, you don't have
Tiki Barber, yes.
In the
Amani
top 20?
Amani Cooper.
And what about Victor Cruz?
Top
Victor
20.
Cruz.
He's top 15.
Okay, Phil McConkey. Mark Bavaro.
I would put my favorite all-time
Mark Bavaro.
Homer Jones in the top.
Mark Bavaro. How about Mark Bavaro?
Top 20. If I did it,
it's too hard. It's a lot of players.
If I did a top 20, he would be in the top 20.
All right. Well, I like Victor Cruz. I mean, top 10 is kind of hard. Some of those players you have are already Hall of Famers. All right. Well, that's a pretty good list. I mean, I'd flip a few around because I liked Harry Carson. You have Harry Carson on there, though, right? Carl Banks, I liked Carl Banks. Carl Banks is the guy that was known to have built a huge book together on all the offensive players he played against. Like he had a big book to all their tendencies, all the stuff. That's when I realized, this guy, he was prepared for the game.
Yeah, but a lot of guys that picked are also in the Hall of Fame. Eli Manning should have been in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He should have been in their first round. Was Phil Simms didn't make the Hall of Fame, did he? Byron?
No.
You got to get a credit for Wi-Fi and your timeshares.
No, he's in the Giant Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, he was okay. All right, let's move on here. All righty, so we got a few other things going on here. What else is happening? Eagles seem to be a little bit quiet. Everything's quiet in the set in the NFL East. Everyone's they're talking about, Cowboys always like to be in the news. So, everyone's always talking about the Cowboys, but, I still think, Philly's the best team there. I'm still picking Washington. You pick the Giants to win
That's a good thing.
You pick the Giants to win the NFC East.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Let's see what we got there. All righty.
And I'm gonna stick with it. The bitter end.
You're gonna stick with it. All righty. And then he put in here Ravens signed Jair Alexander. Are you familiar with him? Well, I got something good for you too.
He was a quarterback with the Green Bay Packers. He's like all pro a couple times, but his problem was he was hurt a couple times.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to bring up something that happened today.
He was all pro a couple times, with Green Bay, but his problem and his issue was that he's hurt all the time. That's why Green Bay probably rid of him.
Right. So something came up today, and this is news. It's not one of our banners that we have. Is Travis Kelce decided not to get his his ring for the AFC East? Is that what the conference championship? He said, he goes, we didn't win the Super Bowl. If I don't have a Super Bowl ring, I don't want the other ring. It's okay with everybody else. He says, I'm putting anybody else in a position. What are your thoughts on that?
I can't hear you. The what?
You're frozen.
I didn't
hear you. Travis Kelce. Can you hear me now?
I'm moving around.
You're traveling. You got to get a credit for your Wi-Fi and your
I can hear you now.
timeshares. You got to get a credit for your Wi-Fi and your timeshares. What do they expect you to do there?
No way.
Go there and not do any work? All right, Travis Kelce, can you hear me now? Yeah, I'm going to create a banner.
It's up in the bushes. And yes, that's why it's called vacation.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yes.
I'm typing it in so you can at least answer. Championship ring. Can you see that?
Are you using 2 fingers or all of your fingers?
I use 6. Can you see that, Byron? What are you looking over there for?
Yeah.
Can you read the banner? Can you read the banner? Read the banner.
Yes, I can.
Okay. What are your thoughts on that? You're killing me.
Feed
the
Ducks.
ducks.
So used to getting Super Bowl rings and everything, probably. Yeah, I know that he just doesn't want the ring.
He said that if it's not a Super Bowl ring, he doesn't want it. He's got nothing against the guys getting a ring, this and that, but he feels championships. He wants the Super Bowl ring. That's what he wants. And you got to give these guys credit. They said they were going for the 3-peat, and they made it all the way to the Super Bowl. That's not easy to do.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No. And what are your thoughts? And what are your thoughts about this was a big topic today on sports shows, was the how can I put it best, I guess, the way to say it, the guys that are superstars but never won a ring. It's like there's an asterisk behind them. And, sports is a team sport. You can be the great, but just because you didn't win a ring, you needed to rely on other people to win that ring as well. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, look at Dan Marino, Barry Bonds, Charles Barkley. Right. I mean, you can go over and how many guys have not won?
It's a whole bunch of them. The great players that didn't.
Allen Iverson,
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss was the worst to me because
Randy Moss.
Yeah, but his was the biggest travesty to me because they went undefeated. with Randy Moss. They literally won every single game with this guy, and they lost to the Giants. So I'm gonna take it. But Randy Moss is a perfect example, right? How do you not, like, just because he didn't win a ring can't lower the superstarness of a Randy Moss? So we're gonna keep going here. Well,
Let's see.
Byron comes back
The
out of the
Patriots went
stage.
18-0. Randy set all kind of record.
17
Yeah. When I come back, I'm sitting here.
Oh, well, I know you're there,
I
but
can
you're
see
like,
you and I can hear you.
yeah, but you're
18.
pausing for some reason. All right. So what do you think about that?
Like 10
About
minutes
superstars
behind.
that don't win rings. Does that affect their greatness? Did you hear me on that one?
Oh, he was a great player, and him, like you said, Barkley, and there's a bunch of them that won championships. And it is, huh? It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. I know, but does that diminish how good they were?
Can you hear me?
Does that diminish how good of a superstar they were?
No, because they were that good. He got in the Hall of Fame, and he's a great player. You can't take the fact that he didn't win, away from him. Sometimes it's just not in the cards.
And one of the latest stories is out there. Shedeur Sanders gets caught driving 101 miles an hour, and then doesn't show up to court. By the way, technically, he should have been brought in jail. You know that, right? I mean, you were a sheriff. My understanding of the law is if you get caught going over 15 miles an hour over the speed limit, you're automatically brought into jail. Is that correct?
Technically, they could take you to jail.
Yes, if it's over 15. So if you're doing 20 miles over, 25 miles over, they can bring you right into jail. He was caught doing 101 miles. You tell me that I don't know. If I was him, I would try to stay as clean and stay out of trouble as much as possible. The spotlight's already on him. This is his second speeding ticket. He had another one earlier this month. What do you think his dad is saying to him? He was doing 101 in 60 miles per hour. Huh?
His dad is probably screaming at him probably right about now, like most fathers would. Like, what are you doing? You're a fifth-round pick. They really don't have to keep you. They could, use this as a reason to cut him.
Yep. And in addition to that, as a father, do you not see all these young NFL players getting killed in these accidents? I mean, there is more, I would say more than only 1% of the players make it to the NFL. Fair statement?
Yep.
Right? You got to be that good.
Yep.
Out of that only 1%, there's a huge percentage of these young guys dying in car accidents.
Yep.
Think about it. Just during this show, over the 6 years of this show, at least 5 players or 6 players were in car accidents, and several of them died.
And one went to jail.
So exactly. So what is it? What does it take for you to realize why do you got to drive 101 miles an hour in a 60-mile-an-hour zone? I can see maybe on a hot mean. I can't point fingers because I was doing 100, but I didn't realize I was doing 100. I also like to see what kind of car he was driving. It doesn't say the car. Well, they don't have to be fast. Well, I mean, of course it's got to be fast, but when I had my Lexus, that went 100 miles an hour, and that was, you couldn't feel it. It was a black Dodge truck. You know you're going 100 miles an hour in a truck. A truck, Byron.
Which truck is that? I'm trying to figure out.
a
I'm trying to
TRX
figure out
truck.
which one though, because one of them is souped up to do that. Not the Rapture. That's Ford.
Yeah, it's a Dodge. Oh, I'll show you in
They're
there.
pretty fast. A 5.7 liter Hemi. There's a Hemi in that Dodge.
Yeah. It's view photos. Yeah, I'm not saying that they're not fast. It's just that so here, for example, I like sedans, right? So I had a big sedan, the Lexus, right? And when you're driving those sedans, they go really fast, but you can't feel it because the car's so big. So I got pulled over more in that car than I did when I had my Porsche. And
Yeah,
because in the Porsche, you know,
wow, must be
in the
fancy.
in the Porsche, you knew you were going fast. It's a little car. It's 6 gears. Like you couldn't, you knew you were going fast. In a truck, you know you're going fast, right? I don't know. I think it's just multiple. I think he should keep his nose clean, put his head in the playbook, and stay focused on there, and don't put any more highlight on him. What do you think?
I think he needs to give up the cars and get an Uber from now on, and don't drive anything.
Yeah, I mean, because no matter what happens, I don't want to see anything happen to these kids, and there's just too many accidents when it comes to these kids in the cars, man. Once you're going that fast, unless you're professionally taught, like police officers and so forth, one little thing that can happen, it steers you off, you're gone. You're flipping, something's happening. And not only that, he's putting other people in danger, especially driving a truck. What makes you have to drive 101 miles an hour? I don't understand that. All right, let's keep going.
Because he can.
No, he can't. He got caught. He can't. If he can. All right, Colts, Shane Stetson and Daniel Jones is doing a hell of a job. Oh, that ex-Giant, you have no problem cheering him on? Huh? That Giant, you don't have a problem cheering him on? You don't have a problem him doing well? Why? What are we going to do when Daniel Jones plays the Giants? Poconos needs technology.
I don't know. I ain't mess with this guy, man.
Daniel Jones.
We're in the bushes, man. He's I don't know. He's gonna have a running game. He's gonna have a tight end, and he's gonna have receiver. So a halfway decent line. So we're gonna see how Mr. Jones is gonna do.
I'd like to see him do well. I just want to stick it to Shane, Joe Shane. Because remember, he got rid of two.
You're being a hater right now, man. Stay a hater.
I don't like the GM for the Giants. I do not like. I've never hidden my feelings about Joe Shane. Never hidden my feelings. I don't like him. I don't think he knows what he's doing. I think he handled himself so unprofessionally on Hard Knocks. And I don't like what he did to Daniel Jones. I don't like what he did to Saquon Barkley. So, I think he should be fired. I'll give Dable a chance, but if it was me, I would have fired both of them. But we'll see what happens.
Oh,
so
you have to get it because of that number 26.
26. Yep. He should have been fired. The way he spoke about him, we just dismissed him. We're not paying a quarterback $40 million just to hand off the ball. Well, you know what? They're paying another quarterback $50 million to hand off the ball, and how'd that work out? All right, let's get going.
All the way to a Super Bowl.
Yes. All the way to the Super Bowl and on the cover of Madden. And outsold all the jerseys in the NFL. So I think they did pretty good there. All right, this connection's terrible. You're killing me. All right. What do you think? Let's move on to a little bit of basketball here. The worst draft pick. We already did that one. All right, highest paid NBA. All right, what do you think about the Lakers? $10 billion for the Lakers. That's a lot of money
for the Lakers.
Well, I mean, the Lakers, they're a prominent team. So
because I think the guy that's I think that I think Mark Walter is the guy that's the owner of the Dodgers. He's the one that's buying a piece of
he owns the Dodgers,
part of the team or whatever. And
LA
I don't know about them being worth $10 billion though. Yeah, I think he owns the Dodgers.
The Celtics sold for $6 billion, so they got $4 billion
money
more.
Like that.
The Celtics sold for $6 billion. They sold them the $10 billion. It's amazing that even at $10 billion, 10 years from now, we're going to say that was a bargain. The guy who really, I think that need to kill him was, Steinbrenner. He bought the Yankees for $250 million. And they're worth, the Yankees got to be worth several billion. I don't know how much they're worth now. But
they're worth something crazy.
Yeah. They're saying they're only worth $8.2 billion. You know what's interesting though? I mean, football. Look at even the Cowboys are not worth. They're around that, but football brings in a lot more money. I mean, think about it. He's got 100,000 people in that stadium, and Magic Johnson's partners with him with the Dodgers. Byron Santiago's going to kill us with your thing. All right. $10 billion. Hey, look, I think they're going to be fine. I think they got a generational talent in Nico, right? And is it? Oh. No, I don't know why I keep losing his name. I think they're going to be. I think they'll be fine for a while. I think the Lakers are going to make some good moves, and they're going to be competitive this year. The West is just hard. Let me go.
Yeah, they got a 40-year-old guy in his career right now.
But he still plays as good as the young guys. I mean, Luka. I mean, they got a generational talent in Luka. I mean, they're definitely selling now. Remember, he outsold everybody's jerseys. He's an attraction. I think they're going to build around him. And look, no matter what, they got time. Right? It's the only thing they got on their side right now is time. At 25 years old, shoot, you can pay another 10 more years. They'll be fine. They'll win a championship with Luka. Who do you think will win a championship faster, the Lakers or Dallas Mavericks?
Yeah.
Who do you think will win faster, the Lakers or Dallas Mavericks? Bye.
Dallas Mavericks.
You're like on sound delay, bro. You're killing me. You're killing me.
I know,
bro.
like 3 seconds.
Oh my God, I don't know.
Yeah,
who's on your left side? Are you watching the game or something?
Stuff was over here. I'm trying to make it. No, I'm hoping the house don't blow up.
Well, as long as you ain't cooking, we're in good shape. All right, let's go. The Houston Rockets, they're not stupid. The Houston Rockets, NBA is the highest paid coach in NBA. Is the Rockets extend Ime Udoka on a long-term deal? You know why they did that, right? He's a young coach. He did really well, and they didn't want him to be poached. And he was on the list of being poached. What do you think is happening with the? What do you think about that?
Well, you figured our wonderful New York Knicks tried to poach him.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think's happening with the Knicks? Like, people don't want that job.
The next coach of nothing. The next coach is going to be The next coach is going to be Carl Town Senior. It's going to be Carl, Big Cat's dad is going to be the next head coach of the Knicks.
No way. Why do you say that? You're joking, right?
Might as well throw something out there.
Well, let me see. Knicks coaching shirt, free agent
No.
targets. Jeez. They're having a hard
Might as
time.
well. Nobody else wants the job.
Knicks
Or they
head
can't get
coaching
anybody
search.
else, so, hey, get his father.
Get who? Get his father. Yeah, I don't think that would be good. Mike Brown, the interview again with the Knicks.
Yeah, Carl Town Senior.
No, it's Mike Brown. With Nick as search.
If they wanted those guys, they would have got those guys by now.
Well, they're talking about Mike Brown, but I mean, I think it's a tough job. And who'd want that job? They should have gave Thibodeau another year. That's my opinion.
You figure who wants that job who wants that job after they went through 5 people? They put out feelers for 5 other coaches. Who wants to be the 6th choice?
PJ Carlissimo says that Knicks are embarrassing themselves in their search for a coach. Why would you ever give permission to the Knicks to talk to a guy? New York Knicks fired Tom the Illusion, the Indiana Pacers. PJ Carlissimo, they don't know. Dan Patrick, there's no way you could have known. We can know. They had no idea themselves that they were doing what they were doing. I just don't understand that conventional logic, which doesn't really concern me, is you don't fire a guy who's as talented as a coach as Tibbs. Carlissimo disappointingly stated. I think he's right. As a former coach, highlighted that Thibodeau was not perfect. He tends to overplay his starters and stick to rotations to a fault. But the reality is, in 4 years with the Knicks, Tibbs delivered far more success than the franchise saw in 25 years. Why would you want to? I mean, how can you do any better than him? He was like one game, he was one win away from the conference finals. They haven't been there in 25 years. The Garden was rocking again. You were making money. Give the guy another year. Figure it out. And you threw away, you gave up all your draft capital for Bridges.
Who's the con?
Who's what?
Who's the constant in all this? The owner, James Dolan.
He's terrible. Why do you think, my friends were giving me crap when I went back over to Jersey? I haven't been a Knicks fan for 25 years because they were so bad. The decisions they made. Once Riley left and Van Gundy and all that, I was done. I mean, it was terrible to be so far away and see an organization just dismantled. Like they were no significance. And then I'm here in South Beach and you see Dwayne Wade lighting it up. It was hard not to like him. So I just think that I can't imagine they're going to have to get a college coach. I don't know if there's an NBA coach that's going to want that job. You're going to get a college coach that wants
that job.
A college coach is going to want to get on his resume. Why? Why wouldn't they take the kid, the young guy from University of Florida?
Yeah, but if they were going to do that, they'd have done that by now.
I don't think they know what they're doing. I don't think, to get rid of a coach that takes you to have more success than you've had in 25 years without a backup plan, without having someone already in the hunt or in the mix, that's a bad business move. They should have been prepared for this. And now it's getting worse. The longer it goes on, the longer people turn away. Like other teams are not allowing them to talk to their coaches. Coaches don't even want to interview for them. I mean, it's looking bad. I mean, imagine if you're a player. And look, some of this has got to fall on the players. I think he was also released not only because of the owner, but the players were complaining because he's overplaying his players.
Yeah, but what's his name? Sort of stuck up for him. Brunson. He went to bat for him, and I guess that wasn't enough. That your superstar player, said that he really likes playing for this guy, and then all of a sudden, they turn around and fire him anyway.
Well, I mean, if I was Brunson, I'd like him too. He gave Brunson carte blanche, at the end of the game to take any shot you want. So Brunson had no reason not to like him. You know what I mean? So, but you got other cats. And he's out of there. All right. Mr. Byron Jones, hopefully will be joining us back here. Let's talk a little bit about basketball. We got game 6 of the NBA Finals coming up. If not, it may have started already. Let's see if I can find the score. Hold on a second. And I think Byron's making his way back in here. Anyways, key for the Thunder, for the Pacers to win today is either Tyrese Halliburton needs to step up his game and score. I mean, I don't understand how guys in sports do not understand statistics. Tyrese Halliburton, when he scores 20 or more points, the odds to win are super high. All right, Byron, I started just going a little solo a cappella, talking about the finals, game 6, Thunder and the Pacers. I told Santi, I goes, what did you think? I go, well, if each team wins every other game, the Pacers are going to win. Number one. Number two, I almost put my bet on the Pacers, but we had to fix something, so I changed my mind. But anyways, the Pacers, I don't understand something, Byron. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. How is it that
Can you hear me?
guys who play in sports, especially superstars, everything's about numbers, right? It's about percentages, right? Your free throw percentage, your field goal percentage, your 3-point percentage, the percentage of a lead, and so forth. Is that a fair statement? You should know the percentages. If you're up, what time it is. How is it that like sometimes these guys just lose sight of percentage? Tyrese Halliburton, the Indiana Pacers record is phenomenal when he scores over 20 points. In the games that he's lost, they've lost under 20. How do you not try to score or not take the shots? Force them. Do whatever you got to do, but you got to make your shot.
You figure these guys are getting in the flow of the game, and you just, I guess, in the back of your mind, you just don't keep track of that stuff. Well, let me make sure I get, put up enough shots, so we can win this game. And they probably don't. They don't think like that. They just, they're getting in the flow of the game. They, he probably, he wants to get everybody else, involved, in the game. And just, thinking about yourself. Yeah, you're probably not thinking about self right about then.
Yeah, but the deal is, hold on a second. Let me fix this second. But the coaches do. In other words, you're on the bench. Like when we were coaching AAU, I kept stats while the game was on, and the stats we'd break for halftime. I'm saying, hey, look, you're only taking X amount of shots. You got to take more shots. You got to take more 3-pointers. You got to do this defensively. We've got offensive rebounds. This is how many the defensive rebounds we have. You gotta manage that during the game. Coaches got to tell you, you're not taking enough shots. Now the other thing is that
but they're not.
McCollum came in and he was killing it, and then he took him out.
Yeah, but they're not. Yeah, but they're not going to know. During the game, you got a stat guy, sitting there, taking care of all this other stuff. During the course of the game, you're not going to, walk over, all right, it's, the first quarter, whatever. All right, well, you're this, this at this time, you need to shoot. They make adjustments. You've done it. You make adjustments at halftime. All right, you need to put up more shots. You need to do more of this. That's what they're doing. But during the flow of the game, you're not looking at the stats. You're really not.
Well, but as a scorer, I mean, come on. Larry Rudolph was going to shoot the ball.
Larry, like when I played with Larry my senior year, Larry tried to get everybody, into the flow of the game. He really did. And after I left, after I was gone, and they won the thing the next year. He would became more of a scorer. But I'm just saying, when I played with him for 2 years,
Who was the leading
he
scorer
would
when
make
you
sure
played?
everybody. He was.
Oh, he still was this leading scorer.
Yeah, but he made sure, he like I played with Keith Waters. Keith Waters, great point guard. Keith would spread the ball
Was
around
Keith?
to
Keith wasn't
everybody.
a senior. Keith was older than you, though, right?
Yeah, he was a senior when I played varsity as a junior. So I played with him and David Jackson and Juan Castillo, and those guys. And
I heard
Keith
Keith was good.
made sure everybody got a touch. Larry was almost the same. Larry was a scorer, but he made sure everybody got the touch.
Did Larry play
Mo
with
Bryant
Keith or
was
no?
the same thing. No, I did no. And like Mo, like same thing. Mo would make sure everybody got their touches, but Mo was going to get his too.
Oh yeah, Mo went to score.
Yeah, Mo was score. I'm getting mine.
Yeah, he was shooting. There were no confusion. He was shooting. Now he did play second to Larry. There was no confusion who was the leader of that team.
Right, Larry Rudolph was definitely the leader of that team.
Yeah, he was no confusion. He was the leader of that team. Yeah. But he proved it, right? I mean, they did really well, and we went undefeated, won the championship. Oh my God, it's 10-2. Oklahoma. There you go. Now it's 10-4. I don't know. I just think you should. You got to know your numbers, and if you know that your team, you're in a situation that your team needs to win, and someone's not telling you, look, you need to try to score. You got to do something. He didn't even get to the foul line. He didn't even take enough shots. That's the disappointing part. And then that TJ McCullough, that guy come off the bench, he scored 18 points. He was on fire.
Yeah, because he knows that's it. He knows that's his job to come in there and put him.
But he's been the spark the whole series with everybody. Every time he comes in, he's like a fan favorite. He comes in, the whole fans go nuts. So we'll see what happens.
Every team has that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. But I like this guy. He's a small little point guard. All right. We're about to wrap this up because technical difficulties are driving me crazy. I'm in slow motion. All righty. Let's go. We got that. Okay. All righty. You see Travis Kelce cut his hair? He doesn't have the crazy look anymore. He looks like he's here for I think he shaved it since he lost the Super Bowl. So I'm saying he shaved it because he wants to change it up. You know what I mean? I like Kelce. I have no problem with Kelce. And then
I
mean not Kelce. Patrick Mahomes. Well, we'll see what happens. But it was a big talk today about Kelce not wanting the rings. Here, let's get this off. Not wanting the championship rings. And I don't blame him. I mean, at the end of the day, he's got how many Super Bowls? 4 Super Bowls. He wants another Super Bowl. Right? They're getting close to that point. We'll see. This is going to be an interesting season, and it's going to be an interesting season. And we're going to see who needs a quarterback, right? And see what happens with the Giants. Yeah, I can't wait. And how's it going with that the receiver that you said it started stepping up for the Giants? Speedy receiver that you said he's starting to pick up. Him and Russell Wilson.
Hyatt. Yeah, Jalen Hyatt, they said he's put on 15, 20 pounds. So, he's a little bit bigger. Be able to take, the licks from the DBs as far as trying to get off the line. So, he should, be a big help because he's a speed guy and throw it deep. And the other one, it's a free agent guy that he only had 10 receptions his whole career in college. That is lighting up. I can't think. I'll have his name next time. But he had like 10 receptions his whole career, and he's like lighting it up in practice.
Was he a free agent?
Yeah, he's a free agent, and he had 10 career catches in college. That was it.
He must be fast because you don't make it on a team with 10 catches in college.
Yeah, he's something. Well, I'm gonna have his name next. I'll have his name next week. And
Yeah.
but yeah, he was lighting it up, and we'll see how things are gonna go this year.
Remember when I told you it was 10-2 Oklahoma? Indiana's winning right now.
Yeah, that was that.
They're
That was
winning
quick.
15-12. They were losing 10-2. Now they're winning 15-12. 15-13
Yeah,
just made
yeah.
a felder. Those guys, when they're hot, they're hot. I'm picking
C.J.
Indiana to win.
Mosley. No, they're not.
Yeah.
What's his name? Leg gonna start hurting. Halliburton. His leg's
Halliburton.
gonna start hurting, and then he's gonna come out like yeah.
The guy
C.J.
that-
Mosley from the New York Jets retired too.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, he
The
retired.
guy that has impressed me with Oklahoma is that Jay Williams. He's really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
What,
I didn't know. I mean, he's really good. I mean, he can make it from three. He could take it to the hole. He could dunk. He's quiet. Like I didn't know who he was, and then he's the number two with Gildress. But man, he's really good. I mean, I don't have a horse in the race here. I just like to see Indiana because I just like the way they play. I was also rooting for him. I forgot that Rick Carlisle won a championship with Dallas. All right. Well, when you come back from Poconos?
Sunday.
Ooh, he's missed it. On Sunday. All right. How's the ride?
That was like 2 hours. Ain't that bad. It's pretty
Really?
nice ride.
Oh, that's right. You're already in Pennsylvania, so what's the
already
worst
there,
ride
so
that you take that has the longest and had the worst traffic?
Florida.
Oh, Florida. When did you come to Florida?
A while ago, man, it was brutal, man. I couldn't take it. And once you got past the state line, oh my God, was it St. Augustine? Got in that area. Oh
Jacksonville.
my God, the traffic. Oh, it was crazy.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. You get all excited you're entering Florida, and if you're coming to South Florida, it's a nightmare. It's a long ride.
It was still another 6 hours.
The worst state to travel through, though, me, in my opinion, is Virginia. Those Virginia cops don't care who you are, who you know, what badge you got. They're giving you a ticket.
Yeah, Maryland and Virginia are like that, both.
Maryland's tiny. Virginia's
Maryland's pretty
long on the East Coast.
Yeah,
it's like
Virginia,
a
you don't
long
want to speed. And as many times,
yes, Shador. Yes, Shador. You don't want to be speeding in Virginia.
And as many times as I drove through like North Carolina, I've never seen a state trooper, not once.
Yeah, no, neither. In Virginia, they're all over the place.
One of our guys, when he left the sheriff's department, he went to be a trooper in Virginia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. All righty. Well, Byron, until next week when you have some serious internet. Because apparently the Poconos don't want you to be on your anything. They want you to be silent and quiet. And
No.
how do you watch
Chill.
anything? You don't do anything. You just read it over there. What are you doing?
Nah, but it does it with the TV all day. As far as cutting in and out all day long. It's like that. Oh, it's brutal. It's brutal.
Oh, God, that would drive me crazy. I couldn't be there. I'd have to work. I couldn't do anything.
And it does. It drives me crazy. So it is what it is. I
Well,
got one
yourself.
thing. One thing.
Yeah.
My cousin passed away, Denise Gray, for a long battle with leukemia. This morning. So my condolences. To my they said my family. Her. My cousin Nikki. Her brother Tony, and Eugene, and the whole Gray family.
Bless it. Prayers for the Gray family and for your. I'm sorry to hear that for you and your family. How old was she? How old?
They're like in their 50s.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Like 57 probably. And she battled it for 11 years. It was a long battle. It was time for her to go home to the Lord. So, it's just so sad though.
Yeah, it's terrible. I'm sorry to hear. Prayers for you, your family. Prayers for your cousin's family. We'll have them in our prayers tonight. What's her name again? I know
Denise.
you said.
Well, they call her Niecy.
Niecy Gray. Niecy Gray.
Yeah.
All right. We'll say a prayer out for Niecy Gray and your family. Sorry to hear that, Byron. God bless you and your family. You got to start taking care of yourself. You're not getting any younger. I go in for my knee operation Monday. What'd you say? You know what?
You go back. You go back to the Nebraska guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I go in for pre-op tomorrow. I got to drive all the way up north, and then I do pre-op, and then on Monday they're gonna scope out my knees. I'll be on crutches for 2 days. But last time I had a scope, it wasn't really medicine. Yeah, but last time I had the scoping done, it was nothing, and that was a long time ago. So I mean, I use the crutches because they're telling me, but the scope can't be that much.
Don't tell on yourself. Don't tell on yourself.
What do you mean?
As far as if you're going to use the crutches or not. If you're going to use the crutches or not.
Oh, don't tell the doctor. Yeah. Well, he wanted me to lay off of my knee. The first day I'll probably do it, but most of the time, I don't like crutches to begin with. But I'm doing both knees, so how am I supposed to do it at the same time? This is the first time. I usually have had one time or the other. Now I'm doing both knees at the same time. So we'll see. Yeah, but it's just cleaning it out. They're gonna go in there. You know how that super scope. It's nothing compared
like a tune-up.
I guess they're gonna clean it all out. So hopefully that's my path to recovery. You know what I mean? I can get out of the car.
There you go.
Like a person of my age, not a 90-year-old. Because I can't bend my knee. So I'm in a lift car. You know how you have to bend your knee to get out of the car? I can only bend my knee almost a little bit more than 90 degrees. That's it. And so when I'm moving, I can't move my foot. And then, I got a 10.5 foot. I'm not a big foot, but it's not a small one either. And my foot gets stuck. I got to go out one leg at a time.
That's why you get a truck. Buy a truck, and you ain't got to worry about all that.
Yeah, but I remember most of the time I'm taking Lyfts and Ubers. So I'm in those cars. So that's the problem. But all right, my friend, God bless again your family, everybody. I love you. Until next week, don't forget to subscribe on all our channels to the Sportscast. Like what you see today, smash the like button. Listen to us every week. We're live Thursdays at 8 p.m. What time, Byron? 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Enjoy the night. Prayers out to your family. And you were saying something. I said, you need to start taking care of yourself. You ain't getting younger. So start eating better.
No,
I'm losing you. Yeah, figures. If I tell you to eat better, I start losing you. All right. You froze again.
But I got all kind of doctor's appointments.
All right. Well, you better let me know how it's going. All right, brother. Love you. See you till next week. Peace.